Happy Saturday, odds and ensers, or should I say happy Saturday, my little oddities out there in internet land. I am the one, the only, highly rated, armor-plated, imitated, but never duplicated Espionage DB7, here with another shoot the shit
Saturday. Called oddities or whatever. That feels like it's insulting.
Hey, you never heard of the oddities from the wrestling? Everybody come see the greatest show, juggalos all gather up and go. I mean, I can't sing it, but anyway,
Yeah, but those are done with consent.
Oh my god.
What?
They have Train to Busan and Pride and Prejudice zombies!
What the hell are you?
Oh,
What are you talking? Anyway,
AMC Plus. Hi everybody.
The person gushing at I don't know what is Valkyrie Grinder. The hostess was the mostess.
Hello.
And the first person that interrupted me was the one that you know as the God of War, the God of Thunder, the God of War Thunder ringleader.
And they have the Babadook.
Okay,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us what you're talking about? Don't keep us in the dark.
AMC Plus. We're not sponsored by them, by the way.
Then might as well fucking AMC. We want money for that, okay?
Take my money, AMC.
No, we want money from them, not for them to take our money. I mean, we basically gave them a shining endorsement right there. Like genuinely gushing at whatever they have. I mean, AMC, come on.
They have Fright Night.
Oh my God, you heard it here, folks. AMC, new sponsor of. Well, not officially.
And the arachnophobia. Okay, God.
Hey, question, Val.
Huh?
Did you see the Animal Crossing direct earlier?
I'm not talking to you about Animal Crossing right now. You miffled me.
Yes, I am.
SD, please continue.
So, before continuing, I want to offer my apologies in advance if I cough or if my voice sounds a little raspy. I was actually under the weather most of this week. That's why my streaming kind of fell behind. I was supposed to do some more Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, more Sherlock Holmes, more Outlast, but I've just been feeling very congested and my head has been just stuffed up. But I'm here. I'm a trooper. And for anybody who is new out there, of course, welcome in here, out there, wherever you may be watching on one of your podcast platforms or on YouTube. We hope you enjoy our content, and we hope that you'll consider subscribing. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. Hit that bell icon so that you're notified whenever we have new stuff. It's only here on Odds and Ends Gaming that you'll find stuff like our gaming streams, our reviews, our Shoot the Shit Saturdays, our Fallback Fridays, and so much more. And I'm going to mute my microphone now because I have to cough. So somebody take it away.
Mic off.
So, Val.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
I do.
I want my happiness. And
Well, I'm talking
about
I'm wishing Nick was here so we can talk about the direct, because this thing was pretty awesome. The 2.0 update coming up.
Oh, then you can talk about that. But whatever.
Mic on.
I don't want to talk about what you sent me earlier.
Can I inquire?
Anka is pretty interesting to say the least, without the nonsense that is that video, but still.
Yes.
I don't want to make Val talk about anything she doesn't want to talk about, but I'm curious as to what you're referring to. So I'm conflicted. Val, what is he talking about? Would you mind, like, at least just telling me what it's about, even if you don't want to?
Okay, so I thought literally he was gonna talk about that raunchy video he sent me about Yanka.
Oh God.
But
so a raunchy video about an Animal Crossing character?
Yes, and I love Animal Crossing, and I don't want to think. I mean, I know
you don't want it sullied.
Yeah, I don't want my image. I don't want it ruined for me. I know there's like what Rule 36 or Rule 34.
Rule 34.
Yeah. That I get that, and
I'm talking about something else though. You're the one who's bringing it up.
You're talking about the upgrade that Nick was mentioning earlier.
Yes. So I took a look at it, and a couple things I want to go over. Okay. First off, they're introducing motion controls to the game. So like if you do certain things with your character, with
Oh,
your
like for
motion
fishing?
no, dancing,
Oh
posing
wow.
and stuff like that. Yeah. Apparently that's now a thing in version 2.0, which is the update that's coming up. That's maybe out already. I'm not sure. Also, you can customize how your house appears now. Outside, you can turn into like for example, like a home in Japan, or like a brick home or a wooden home or something like that. Different shapes and sizes. You can now expand your storage up to 2,400 to 5,000 even more. New add-ons or new items from the DIY pot recipes, including now you can farm vegetables and tomato and wheat and stuff.
Apparently that comes out November 5th, by the way. I just looked it up.
Right. So that's all part of the cooking thing. You know, a bunch of new foods and stuff to eat and stuff like that. You can now actually decorate your ceiling with items.
Ceiling? You can't even see your ceiling.
Oh, you can now.
I guess.
You can now increase the number of bridges and inclines from 8 to 10, and possibly even more. New fencing, which is pretty cool. You got lattice type or bamboo fencing. The wooden fencing, you can change the colors. With your camera, you can do things more stuff now with that. More custom designs and patterns that are available at this point. New hairstyles. Oh my god. See, new reactions as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. You can now, I guess, talk about your island life in the game. More items. You can redeem miles for more items now. Let's see. More songs from KK, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Let's see. Music boxes. Unearthing gyroids. What is that?
What the hell's a gyroid?
Gyroids are okay.
That sounds like a medical condition. I've got an enlarged gyroid on my neck.
In Smash, the Animal Crossing character can launch gyroids. They're little wooden creatures. There's all sorts of customization now for those as well. New items at Nook's Cranny. You can now permanently place ladders now.
Oh, that's cool.
Taking it with you.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
You can more accurately allocate your space inside your home to be able to navigate tight spaces and stuff. Let's see. Residents first stop by your home. Invitations to individual homes as well. Boat tours are now available, and this is now considered the last major Creed content upgrade.
I didn't.
Yes,
do they have paid DLC?
No.
So in other words, it's just going to be the last update.
Yes.
Before the next Animal Crossing game.
Whenever that button is.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll tide people over for a few years. I got super hype into that game for about a month, and then I just kind of, And then not because the game was bad. There's still plenty more I could do, but it turned into I reached a point where in order to proceed and do more plans that I have, I had to do a lot of like grinding for money, and I just didn't feel like doing it, so I haven't touched that game in a while. But
I'm starting a new home, or new island, so
I might do that because I did enjoy the game. I really did. I recommend it to anybody. It was just me, my own laziness that I just kind of stopped playing it. But it's definitely a great game. I never thought I'd like it because I saw it. I'm like, man, this is this looks like childish, which it's fine. Little children.
It's innocent.
Yeah, exactly. It's innocent. That's the best way of putting it. But I was like. I was like, it's not something for me, but I got into it and I played it and I'm like,
that's why they say it's a game for everyone.
This is fucking fun. But that's cool. Did you guys see the moving on from that? Oh, unless there's anything else you wanted to cover on that topic.
So I think we did Donovan Metroid Dread.
Do it. He loves the Metroid games.
Yeah, and his Switch is here, so I'll think about that.
Cool. Anything else? Before
for those who know, Padoru's nearly here. Live in fear, for her time almost comes.
No, just no. I don't know. I don't know anything about what you showed me. He showed me something. Ring is the God. Ring is the channel's resident memologist. Or memologist.
Oh, this is weep shit I'm talking about here. This is not the memology shit.
Oh God.
It is. It's a weep.
It was a thing by the channel that you linked me was Anderson W. Memerson or
Doesn't
something.
Matter. It's a well-known weeb meme.
It's a meme regardless. Even if it's a weeb meme, it's still meme, right?
It's still predominantly weeb, anyways.
But it's still
Can
meme.
I just point this out here real quick?
Nobody cares.
Y'all are talking about your memes and stuff. If I go missing or if I don't respawn, one of y'all knows where I live. Just come check on me, check my pulse, because I'm gonna be just like,
Mic on.
like
What?
Gone to AMC. Like I'm.
Oh God, here we go again. Another.
I'm sorry. This is your fault.
This Hottenens Gaming video is brought to you by AMC Plus.
And other services, my dude. You're shilling.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, like the old
I'm not
version,
shilling. Who's shilling me?
The original. Well, okay. So what brought this on was we were originally talking about.
The Halloween movies, I think.
We were talking about the Halloween movies, but we were having a conversation about another movie, which we're going to talk about on our stream. But what led to me talking about Halloween, because I was trying to find not the one that's coming out or came out today,
Halloween Kills,
or on Friday, but the one before that, the old recent Halloween movie.
Well, there was one Halloween movie that was just a reboot that was called Halloween.
But it has Jamie Lee Curtis, and she's old.
Yeah,
with the.
I think it was. Was it H2O? That was made back in the 90s.
No, I mean, unless this is supposed to be unless this is the one.
I'm not the one to ask about the Halloween movies because I only saw the first two. Well, I saw the Season of the Witch as well, but as far as Michael Myers, I only saw the first two and then Season of the Witch, and I didn't follow it after that.
So I was trying to see all the updated movies for Halloween because I do want to have a Halloween marathon because, as y'all know, or if you're new to the channel, Halloween's what I grew up with as a kid. I'm the old school, young school generation of these are my type of killers. What I grew up with, what I used to watch.
That's my type of killer. All right. Yeah, I like the cut of your jib. Sorry.
So I'm in my 30s. I'm 32. So
you're a young. You're a child.
I am young. I'm not old. But this what I mean by my gen. Like this is my type of horror. What I grew up with. But I'm gonna have a marathon, and I was trying to see all that. Where I can get the best experience from. And you brought up Halloween what is it? Halloween
Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch. I don't think I've seen that one. But they have like AMC does offer all the Halloween movies, but I just didn't see the new one. And I remember
Real quick before you do the next advertising promo for AMC Plus again.
Oh, you're at AMC. I just spent money on you. Sorry. Anyways. Oh, they have the old house on the haunted hill. I love that movie.
AMC marketing team. If somehow this video gets to you, we're willing to work out negotiation. This is legit here. This isn't a paid advertisement. It's really not. But you can tell that you got somebody here who's willing to endorse you fully. So if one of those marketing execs happens upon this video, hey, we'll dance for AMC, whatever. AMC, it's movie night tonight.
You make Valkyrie happy.
Anyway, before we do another fucking AMC promo, I was gonna tell you, do you know that the original Halloween movies, the first one obviously had Michael Myers and ended with him getting killed on the front lawn. Second one picks up, right after that with Lupus still trying to track him down because he, obviously didn't die. He got up and walked away and went somewhere. And then they finally blow him up at the end of the second one in the hospital. So that's supposed to be the end of Michael Myers. Originally, the Halloween films were going to be an anthology series, which I actually would have loved to have seen how that would have turned out. Because what they were going to do is they were going to make a new Halloween movie every year, dealing with a new antagonist and a new situation and setting and whatnot. So Halloween 3 Season of the Witch has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It has to do with this company that taps into excuse me. It's been years since I've seen it. I haven't seen it in a long time. I've been wanting to watch it again. But they tap into ancient druids and Stonehenge and something because they want to do this campaign that'll basically make them rule the world or some crap. And the way they do this is they implant masks with some kind of weird chip that kills people, and they launched this advertising campaign that basically, hey, on Halloween night, be in front of your TVs wearing your mask so that there's a chance that you win this massive giveaway, for a lot of money. So everybody puts their masks on and stuff, or they do a test on this little kid, and they kill off a kid in a very brutal way. Basically, the mask melts into their flesh, killing them, melting their skulls, and then out of the melted skulls, a bunch of bugs and snakes and shit comes out.
Filthy casuals.
I'm sorry?
Filthy casuals. That's
going back to my type of what I grew up horror based. They have the Hellraiser movies too, as well as I haven't checked to see if they.
Hang on, you're doing it all wrong. You're supposed to do something like this. Only AMC gives you the greatest selection of horror movies, both classic and modern. I'm just saying that's basically what she's doing. I keep trying to talk about something else, and she goes about how great AMC is.
Okay, maybe it's not just AMC that I'm trying to I'm not trying to promote them. I'm more just excited because I have HBO and it just doesn't offer everything that I want to watch right now at the moment.
Oh, hey, Val, by the way.
Yeah, wait.
No, real quick. I just got one thing to say. Nike, just do it.
Anyways, I'm just more excited about this streaming company, or this company in particular. It has the movies I want to watch. Okay?
We're happy. We're happy for you.
I'm just really
okay, we get it.
And they have stuff that I also want to see too, things that look interesting. So shit.
No, it's fine. It's just funny. I'm not trying to put you down. It's just kind of funny. But yeah, for anybody listening, AMC Plus sounds like something a good deal. Okay, as you heard it here.
There's a horror movie called Porno.
Mic off. Mic on.
A war movie called Porno?
No, a horror. Gary.
Oh, horror. Okay, now the best thing would have been if you had said a whore, WHORE movie called Porno. That would have made more sense. But the first thing I misheard, a war movie called Porno. Now,
can you imagine?
Yeah,
that though?
Deep down below the Reichstag in Hitler's bunker in Berlin, Eva Braun starts to strip down.
Black Betty. Oh, Black Betty.
What the? I think he'd be calling her Black Betty. Anyway, I was trying to tell you that the Halloween movies were going to be an anthology, but people loved Michael Myers so much that the third movie didn't do well, and by the next one they did Halloween 4, the Michael Myers Returns, or the Return of Michael Myers or something like that, because they liked him as a slasher so much. So that's all I was going to say about that.
Seems like they misunderstood their audience.
I guess so.
Deathgasm? Some of these names for these movies, though.
Deathgasm.
Deathgasm. That is a movie.
Well, I mean, I guess she died doing what she loved, or he died doing
Two
what
high
he
school
loved.
Metalheads play a forbidden piece of music that unlocks the gates of hell. I mean, this looks like a cheesy B-rated movie, one that looks so bad that it might be might be good. I don't know, but I'm not rushing to go watch it.
No, you're gonna watch that war porno.
I'll let you know how it is. But so speaking of movies, we had just watched a particular trailer.
Yes,
and
Scream.
going back to my childhood as well, it's the Scream. What did you think of the trailer, S?
So, I don't. They're calling the movie just Scream, but officially it's Scream 5. It seems like it's kind of like a passing of the torch because it has Sidney Prescott in it, the character from the original Scream movies, and of course WCW World Heavyweight Champion David Arquette. He's in there too. I can never see his name on the credit of a movie or see him in a movie without thinking about that because he was a legit, and any wrestling fan out there will know what I'm talking about. He was actually fucking named God damn, I hate this raspiness in my throat. Was actually named champion. But I will say that except for the smart home shit that they had, like the doors locking and unlocking on the phone and stuff like that, and probably smart speakers and shit like that, it did give me a vibe of a very 90s slasher movie. It did seem like it taps into the spirit of the original. Excuse me, again, I'm sorry for, any coughing. I did kind of cringe at that line where Sydney answers her phone and she's like out jogging or something. And she goes, David Arquette asks her, Sydney, there's a new killer on the loose. Do you have a gun? And she goes, I'm Sidney Prescott. Of course I have a gun. And it's like, you know they're just shoot. That is such a fucking lame way of introducing her character or just, the exposition of it. Like, again, I'm sorry.
Mic off.
Okay, but going through everything
Mic on.
Okay, if we're talking about in the movie, like if we're putting ourselves in the character's shoes, going through everything that she's been through, constantly being attacked by some fucking crazy ass person or family relative spoiler alert, in one of the movies it happened to be like her second cousin or one of her cousins who turned out to be a fucking killer because of shit that happened, or she was just like obsessed or whatever. I can't remember. It's been so long. I watched that movie once and I was just like, yeah, they're trying too hard on this.
They needed to take a break and now they're back. No, but I'm talking about the writing for that line. I'm Sidney Prescott. Of course I have a gun. That line just made me cringe because first of all, the guy who's calling that was a line just for the audience. I mean, she would not in real life. That is just something you don't say. Because it's like, first of all, the person she's talking to obviously knows she's Sidney Prescott. They had to just say it. I just thought it was bad writing, that's all. But the trailer looks pretty good. It does. I like I said, I liked it. They made a mention of the killer being connected or killing victims of the killing relatives of the original killers, right?
Yes.
So
that's what the trailer implies.
Yeah, so I like the fact that he's still using the hunting knife. Every slasher, like every major slasher, technically has their own unique weapon. Obviously, Jason has the machete. Freddy Krueger has his knives. Michael Myers uses a knife as well, right? Like a hunting knife or a carving knife, or.
Sorry, what?
Of the slashers, they all have their unique weapons and stuff. Leatherface has a chainsaw. Michael Myers, he uses a knife as well, right? Like a hunting knife. That's his main weapon.
He uses a kitchen knife, like a carving knife.
Like a cleaver. So Ghostface.
No, not a cleaver.
Not a cleaver.
No.
But it is a kitchen knife.
It is a kitchen knife.
Dude, real life cleavers are fucking scary as hell, man.
They really are.
Yeah, they're big as fucking heavy. Like I get the feeling like you could, like if somebody put their hand down and held it still, like you could chop off a hand with that shit. Cause they're fucking heavy and big and sharp. But so he uses a kitchen knife and then Ghostface uses a hunting knife. But I like that they stay true to that. It doesn't look like they're doing too much corny shit. It seems like it has its own plot, something new and original, but at the same time, like I said, they're sticking to the spirit of the original 90s slasher films. So in summary, I like the trailer. We'll see what it has to offer, and we may be doing a review of Halloween Kills soon, which dropped today, but we haven't seen it yet. But that might be something that we watch soon, and hopefully maybe next week we'll have a review for that movie. But in regards to the Scream trailer, I think I want to see it. I'm not huge into horror movies, but I do like them, to an extent, and I do think that looks like something I'd like to see.
So, going back to the type of kitchen knife that Michael Myers uses, according to what I found, and I'm sorry I might mispronounce this, it's Victorinox. It's between the Victorinox and the Wusthof brand knives.
Mic on.
I see.
Sorry, but it is a basic kitchen knife. From Anyways, continue. Going back to Scream.
Well, actually, if it's all right with y'all, to kind of wrap things up, because this will take me a little while, I'd actually like to I'd like to talk about something that I think is very apropos of the Halloween season, but it's honestly not talked too much about, or at least I don't think it is. I want to talk about a horrific historical event and a movie that the event inspired. Would you mind if I give you all like a bit of a synopsis of the event and one more, a review of this movie? Can I talk about this for a bit?
I don't mind.
Huh?
I don't mind.
So, before I tell you the name of the movie, it's not necessarily considered a horror movie. It's definitely more of a drama, but what would you say if I told you that the movie's primary antagonist probably killed more people than Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers or any of your well-known slashers, monsters, or evil entities did in any single film? I'm talking 19 total victims in all. What would you say to that?
I'm kind of wondering what you're talking about.
Pretty horrific killer, right? Well, for anyone who doesn't know, the name
Rookie numbers.
What?
Rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers. Well, I mean, the person is a human being, not an back from the dead entity or something. But for anyone who hasn't guessed it, the event that I'm talking about is the Salem witch hangings, and the movie that I'm referring to is The Crucible, which was adapted from the critically acclaimed screenplay by Arthur Miller. So, I recently saw this movie for the first time in probably about 15 years. I haven't seen this movie since my mid to early 20s, and it's a great movie, but it's just been so long since I've seen it. I'm gonna give you all a bit of a plot synopsis. Excuse me, I'm sorry. A bit of a plot synopsis, and we can talk about the movie if y'all want, the events in general, and go from there. So, the movie opens up with several of the town. Now, this is the 1492 Salem, Massachusetts. It's a not a huge town, but it's a thriving town, farming community, which pretty much all communities back then were. But several of the town's young girls had snuck off into the woods to meet a slave girl named Tituba. Now, for the most part, what they're doing out there is fun and games. It's akin to, like, girls having a sleepover, slumber party, and having a seance or messing with a Ouija board. You all know how seriously I take shit like seances and Ouija boards. You don't find me fucking around with stuff like that. But for, young girls, it can be like a laugh, something just to do for fun or for a laugh. So they're young and foolish girls, and they're meeting up, trying to mix up like some kind of love potion or attraction spells or some shit. They each contribute an item. I guess it's something that belongs to the suitor of their choice, and they pray for their desired men to fancy them. So they're throwing in stuff. Tituba has this big cauldron boiling, and she's doing, like chanting and stuff like that. And then she tells them, say the name of who you want and throw the position into the pot. So they all say, oh, give me Jim Smith, and give me Joe, what's his face, and this one girl, Abigail, she's like, she wants this guy by the name of John Proctor, who in the movie is played by Daniel Day-Lewis. So they each contribute an item, and this girl Abigail, she fucking takes it to 11. Like she fully wants this guy. Like she basically throws her thing in, and then she gets a chicken or a rooster that the girl Tituba was using as part of the spell. She takes it, breaks its fucking neck by slamming it on a rock, and then drinks his blood, and like starts demanding that she wants him. So while this is happening, she actually starts to strip down. She strips naked and starts to dance. And all the girls start dancing around her, like they make a dancing circle and shit. And then, unbeknownst to them, the town's reverend, the guy by the name of Reverend Paris, had followed them, including his own daughter, a younger girl by the name of Betty, and his niece, which is actually the niece is Abigail Williams, the one played by Winona Ryder. He sees the fracas in the distance. He sees one of the girls dancing naked. Can't tell who it is, but he sees all of this, and he rushes in. And when the girls see him coming, they scatter. Back then, getting caught doing shit like that's grounds for a hanging. So they run away, all except for his own daughter Betty, who starts screaming in a panic. She's freaked out. This is her dad. He just caught her basically fornicating and conjuring shit in the woods. So she starts screaming and then faints. So they take the girl back to town. All the girls, go back to town as well, but nobody knows who was the leader, who was the girl who was dancing naked, and all of that stuff. Now the girl Betty, the daughter of the Reverend, she falls ill, quote unquote, so to speak. Excuse me, just a moment.
Mic off. Mic on.
Sorry, again, cough. But anyway, she quote unquote falls ill, and basically she has no fever, no wounds or any other signs of illness, but she can't wake up. She can't like get up, and the Reverend's like, wake up, and everybody's like telling her to wake up, but she's just there, alive, breathing, but just in a deep sleep. You find out later that she's fucking faking, because like there's a part where there's people gathered around her and trying to figure it out, and they kind of convene in the corner, not looking at her, and she like peeks and opens one eye and then closes it again. So she's fucking little faker. But basically, they all start talking about witchcraft, and the rumor spreads that they were dancing in the woods, which fucking witchcraft is a hangable offense. So this fucking girl, Abigail, she tries to convince the girl that can't sleep while everybody's in church. She and all of the girls, and this girl Abigail, she's the main fucking villain, and she is one hell of a villain, I'll tell you that. She tries to convince, while everybody's in church, she gathers all the other girls, the ones that were dancing, and goes to the room where this girl cannot wake, and basically tries to shake her, like, wake up, stop this, they're gonna hang us, and shit like that. And eventually she does. She does wake up, she starts screaming, and she goes, Abigail, I saw you. You drank blood in the woods. So the girl Abigail slaps her, and she goes, you better not say anything like that, or I'll kill you. Like literally, she tells them that she will kill them. She tells them some line like, I will come in the night for you with appointed vengeance. What does that mean? I'll come fucking stab you at night. So she basically threatens her and tells her not to say anything. All the ruckus and the screaming and all that coaxes the townspeople out of jail. Out of the church, and they come to the house, and they see the little girl making a fracas and stuff in the window, and then they run up the stairs, and Abigail freaking out, thinking like, fuck, they're gonna think that I conjured witchcraft and stuff. She says, I was under some spell. Yes, I danced in the woods, but it wasn't my doing. I was under a spell. Somebody came to me and they forced me. I couldn't pray. I want the light of Jesus in me. Oh, help break the spell on me. And I got a cough again. I'm sorry.
Mic off. Mic on.
So basically what she does is she accuses the slave girl, Tituba, of being the one conjuring stuff and bringing the devil to her and trying to put her under a spell. So they take this girl Tituba, drag her out of the house, and start whipping her really ruthlessly, like just whip after whip in the back. And she's just crying and like, no, I didn't do it, it wasn't me. We were just, at first she tries to say that it was innocent, like just innocent little things, but they just keep whipping the fuck out of her until she breaks down and she says, no, I promise, I'm a victim too. The devil came to me. He promised me good things. He wanted me to kill you all. He wanted me to come in the night and stab you. And she tells the Reverend, he wanted me to come in the middle of the night and stab you, Reverend, but I told him, no, devil, I will not do what you say. But he had control over me. So they're like, oh my God, the devil is loose and he's putting, mind control, and he's dominating these girls' spirits. So they call for this special reverend. He's another reverend, or he's some kind of clergyman, Mr. Hale, who he's kind of like an exorcist, I guess. He knows about demonic possessions, and he's an authority on stuff like entities and demonic possession and stuff like that. So they call him to town. All the while, news of all the hubbub reaches a guy by the name of John Proctor and his wife Elizabeth Proctor. John Proctor had an infidelity with that girl Abigail Williams, and he admitted that it was the biggest mistake of his life. And they have a conversation at one point, John Proctor and Abigail Williams, where he says, look, I did lust after you and it was wrong. And she's like, oh, John, I all I ever do was love you. I know that you want me. I've seen the way you look at me and yada, yada. And he goes, you know what? Yeah, maybe I did fancy you, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing. I will cut off my own hand before I ever reach for you ever again. So he basically tells her, get lost, thought. And
is that foreshadowing? I'm just wondering.
I've
actually seen the movie you're talking about with Winona Ryder.
What do you think? It's a good movie?
I do. I like it.
Awesome. And yes, it is kind of foreshadowing, but he doesn't tell her get lost, thought. not so many words anyway. But anyway, news reaches him of what's going on in the village, and they're like, there's a hubbub. There's people being accused of witchcraft. And at first, Proctor he shrugs it off. He's like, it's just nonsense. It'll blow over. And his friend, who is a lawyer, a guy by the name of Giles, I don't remember the last name, something Giles. He tells him, don't be so sure, John. This thing is kind of blowing up. But anyway, the Reverend arrives in town. He starts examining the girls, and right away he's like, yes, there is mischief afoot. There is evil. The devil, if the devil is here, I will find him and cast him out. So he actually goes around starting to investigate a little bit. But while this is happening, there's this other guy by the name, what the hell is his name? Putnam. This other guy named Putnam, who is actually a landowner in town, and he's a greedy son of a bitch. He has his eye on some of his neighbor's land, and he's the father of this girl named Abigail Williams. So she's the niece of the Reverend, but he's the father of the girl, and he actually kind of puts her up to making accusations against some people because he wants their land. So he just basically says, like, off camera, but you get the idea that this is what happens. That he tells her, hey, accuse him so I can have their land, and it just turns into a shitstorm of accusations. I feel so bad for him. There's this poor old man that can't even walk without having 2 walking sticks, and he's waving at somebody. He's a pig farmer, I think, and he's just waving at them. And he's like, good morning, mister, whatever your name is. And as he's waving, a nearby bonfire that they have going kind of sparks up. So they're like, holy shit, did you see what he did? That fucker's a witch, get him. And like when he's giving his testimony in court, it's so sad because he's like, no, I never did anything. But the girls are so callously, so just ruthlessly throwing accusations all around,
Dare
including
I say cunts?
they are cunts. They are, especially this
Yeah,
fucking.
horrible.
Yeah, they are, and but they're getting their cues. They're taking their cues from the head fucking bitch leader, fucking Abigail Williams. Now, all credit to Winona Ryder. I've always said a character that is hateable and makes you hate them because of the great acting. That is a great actor or actress in this case, and Winona Ryder does just a marvelous job. I mean, you hate her, like you hate her fucking guts. But at any rate, so they're throwing accusations around left and right, and people are being accused. So they're like, we got a real problem going on here. So what they do is like, we need the law of the land to come to the state of Salem and figure this out for us. So they summon a judge by the name of Judge Hawthorne. This guy, he's a badass actor too. I mean, this guy, he's cold as stone. He definitely has that old English look and flair about him. His speech is on point with the way they used to talk in the day, at least I assume. But anyway, he's awesome as well. And you can kind of consider him a secondary protagonist, although I don't think he intends to be a bad guy. I think he legitimately is trying to do good and weed out Satan, so to speak. But basically, he just starts telling these people that have been accused, confess to your crimes or you will hang. Because the thought process that they mention is that this is an invisible crime. Nobody can bear witness.
Basically, you're gonna hang no matter what.
No. Actually, if they confess, they do, get spared the gallows. But what kind of life is it? Because I actually did some research. I did a little bit of research, and it turns out that if you confessed, you lived, but you were no longer eligible to own property. You were basically spit at, whipped, thrown rocks at by the townspeople, and
you're basically better off dead at that point.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. But basically, you become a homeless wretch, and it's like, what was the point of living? So yeah, you're better off dead, but they would spare you the gallows. But there were still some people that were confessing because they didn't want to die. So they were like, no, I don't want to die. So they would actually confess it. And again, excuse me.
Mic off. Mic on.
So, the logic that they applied was, witchcraft is an invisible crime. Nobody may witness it except the witch that is performing the act, which we cannot expect the witch to accuse themselves, and the victim. Therefore, we need to trust, we need to trust the victim and what they say. So basically, yeah, it's like if you're accused, you're fucked. Now, keep in mind, this girl, Abigail Williams, she's hotsy-totsy for fucking, Daniel Day-Lewis, for John Proctor. She hatches a little fucking scheme. There's this one girl named Mary Warren, who is part of the bunch, but she's definitely the most on the fence. She sees what's going on. She sees innocent people getting accused and hanged, and she wants out. She's like, I can't really do this anymore. And one day, while in court, she's like sewing a puppet. Mary Warren is actually like a maid for the Proctors. Like, she works for them, and she's sewing a puppet, which is like a little stuffed doll. And this Abigail Williams, cunning and fucking eyes open, she sees Mary Warren stick the needle in the puppet's stomach for safekeeping and take it home. And well, she knows that she lives with the Proctors. So what she does is she actually stabs herself in the stomach with a needle, breaks into the judge's quarters, and throws herself upon his mercy and says, Goody Proctor sent her spirit out after me and stabbed me with a needle. So the authorities go out to the Proctors, and they're like, your wife has had an accusation against her, and they're like, we need to search your house. And everybody's like, no, not the Proctors. Goody Proctor and John Proctor, they're good people. It can't be them. But they're like, let me search your house. And they find, because of course the puppet, Mary Warren lives in that house, and Mary Warren actually gave the puppet to Goody Proctor as a gift with no malintent. She gave it to her as a gift, and she said, here you go, I made this for you. So they put it up on a mantle. The authorities find it, and it's like, why is this doll here with a needle? This is obviously sign of witchcraft. So they take his wife, and at this point, John Proctor is fucking freaking out. Like he starts practically flipping tables, or he pounds his fists on the tables, and he's like, you know, in old English, this is fucking bullshit. Fuck all you guys. You guys are, you know, listening to a harlot, and, you know, I'm gonna get my wife back, and I'm gonna throw myself on this court like an ocean, and just he rages like hard. So he gets this guy Giles, his friend, to try to come up with, you know, some way of trying to save people and put a stop to this. But this backfires magnificently, because what Giles does is he gets a list of names of people who sign, who feel that the girls are making it all up. He gets a list of names of 90 people in total. He presents it to the judge, and the judge is like, okay, here. He tells his constable or whatever the guy is, go pick up all of these people on the charge of conspiracy of witchcraft. And they're like, no, you know, these are people that are saying that they're not witches. But, you know, too bad. He condemned those 90 people. So at that point, he says, look, I have a confidential source that tells me that he saw two girls talking and mentioning that it was fake, that it was a lie. And the judge tells him, who was it that told you this? It's confidential. I can't tell you. So basically they take him, okay, you don't want to tell us, then take him away. And they fucking put stones on him, forcing him, like, give us the name or we're going to keep putting stones on you. He refuses to give up the name, and then eventually they crush him to death. So, like, this girl, Abigail Williams, she's accusing people left and right. People have already been hung. And she figured if they take his wife away, I guess she thought that John Proctor was just going to swoon over her and just be like, oh, I love you, Abigail, let's run away together and whatever. I guess, I don't know what her thought process was, but I guess she thought that. So when he came back to town to try to defend his wife, she intercepted him in the woods, and she's like, oh, John, and, you know, she tries to force her hand into his, tries to force his hand into her nethers, you know, and he pushes her against a tree by the throat, throws her to the ground, and he's like, you know, fuck you, I would never get with you, know that. And so he goes to court, and he tries to throw himself, you know, on the mercy of the court, tries to explain everything. All that ends up happening from that is the girls, when Winona Ryder's character Abigail ends up getting accused too, and it seems like things are finally gonna start turning on her. But every time that something happens, she fakes an episode. Like, she pretends to see things flying, like, you know, ghosts coming at her, or having some sort of pain in the stomach. And he had actually convinced Mary Warren, his maid, to come out and basically confess that it was all lies. So when Mary Warren came out to try to do it, what Abigail Williams does is she pretends that Mary Warren's spirit is attacking her. She's like, no, Mary, stop it. And she starts faking like she's getting punched and kicked, and she's seeing spirits. And they're like, what are you doing to her? And Mary Warren's like, I'm not doing anything. She's lying. She's faking. And all the other girls are in the same room taking cues from her, so they believe these girls. So seeing that she's lost, that Mary Warren, that, you know, that she can't, you know, stand up against Abigail Williams, she decides to say, no, John Proctor made me do it, and he sent the spirit after me, and he's a witch as well. So they arrest Proctor and ask him, you know, what do you have to say for yourself? And he's like, I say that you are bringing down heaven and raising up a whore. And I say that God is dead. So when he says that, the townspeople, you know, go ape shit. They arrest him, throw him in the dungeon. At that point, she's like, Abigail goes to see him, and she steals some money. She goes to see him in the dungeon, and she's like, look, we can run away together. I never meant for you to get involved in this. And he basically is like, you know, fuck you, get out of here. So they come for him, and they're like, you know what, it's time to hang, but if you confess, we will spare your life, and you can go home and be with your wife and your kids. And he talks to his wife for a good long while. He apologizes for the infidelity. They share a very, you know, sad moment, a passionate moment on the beach. And then he decides, regardless, you know, hey, I may be an outcast. I may be spit on, whatever, but I'd rather live my life with my wife and kids. So he agrees to sign. So they give him the confession and they tell him, okay, sign it. He signs it, and then they're like, okay, let's have it because we're gonna pin it to the church wall. And he's like, come on, you don't have to make it public. People will know. People will know that I confessed. Do you really have to pin it to the church wall? And they're like, yes, we have to put this up. And he's like, how can I do this? How can I teach my children to be men if you're taking away my name and my goodness? And eventually he's like, no, I can't do this. You can't take my name. So he tears up the paper and he decides, hang me. So since he tore up the confession, they put him on the back of a wagon and they take him to be hung. And this guy, Reverend Hale, as he's being carted away, he's begging him, like, confess, John, confess. And he tells the wife, talk to him, tell him to confess. And she goes, no, he has his goodness now. And then at the end, he and along with a group of others, their necks are put through the rope and are snapped in two. And the most fucked up part of this is the girls all did this just so they wouldn't get in trouble. They kept doing it when they saw the power that they had, because they truly did have a power. Anybody that they saw that they did not like, they would be able to point and say witch, and that person would head to the gallows. That happened all the way through the movie, except when she tried with one person. The guy Hale, which was, remember, the reverend that kind of came to town, and he was kind of like the exorcist, that he was kind of snooping around. He figured out that that it was a pretense, and he would throw dirty looks at Abigail. And one day he went to the judge, and she's like, the reverend's wife, she sends her spirit out at me to stab at me at the night. And the judge is like, what?
Now just like, mind your tongue.
Yeah,
I remember that one clearly.
Yeah, mind your tongue, child. You are mistaken. Yes. And she goes, you know what? Nobody is above, the power of the devil or whatever. And the judge is like, you are mistaken, child. The wife of a minister is ordained or something like that. And they're like, you are mistaken. So her power kind of starts to vanish, and it doesn't work in that case. So with the money that she had previously stolen, she takes off and flees. She gets on a boat and goes God knows where.
A whore.
Huh?
Sorry, I said she becomes a whore.
Basically, fuck that bitch for sure. She is easily one of the most hateable characters in all of cinema, and definitely, worthy of being like on a fucking Hall of Fame of slashers or something, because she kills a whole lot of people. Because at any point she could have stopped it. I mean, she could have confessed herself to what she did and let her own neck snap, but no, she gets away scot-free. You don't know what happens to her. But yeah, she killed so many people in the village of Salem, in 1692, I'm sorry. And yeah, but it is a great movie. It is not a happy ending movie. It's a sad movie.
Really isn't.
Based on true events, because the characters, John Proctor, Abigail Williams, Judge, what was the name of the judge? I forgot it. The Reverend Hale, Hawthorne, Judge Hawthorne, Giles Corey was the last name. Giles Corey. Those are all real characters. And I mean, this is definitely a movie that's very apropos of the holiday. And it's like, when you think about the Salem witch trials, you kind of think of stuff like Hocus Pocus, the movie Hocus Pocus with the Bette Midler and all the happy witches and witches flying broomsticks. But when you think of the horrific reality of what happened, during that time, it's pretty fucking scary, And so, Val, I got a disgusting bit of trivia for you.
Okay.
So I was doing a little bit of research on the actual Salem witch trials, right? And guess what I found out? There is an actual this is true. There was a test, quote unquote, that they had on how to find out if somebody was a witch. What they would do is they would take yeast and cornmeal and urine of the accused person. So like if you were accused of being a witch, they would have you urinate in a pot or something, and they would take it with yeast and cornmeal and bake it into a fucking bread, and they would feed that bread into a dog. If the dog fell deathly ill or died, that person was a witch. If the dog was fine, it's like you're cool. That was an actual.
Wouldn't that make it sick anyways?
Huh?
Wouldn't that make it sick anyways?
Again, you can see how dumb these fucking tests were.
Well, also most of the trials that they did to test to see if you're a witch were bound to fail anyways. Like there's a lot of people ended up drowning.
Yeah.
Because if you can't hold your breath longer than this or something, like they.
No, one. I think I know what you're talking about. There was one test supposedly that they would throw you off of a cliff. If you died, you were innocent and were proclaimed innocent posthumously. If you survived, you were able to fly off, and you were to report back to the spot where you were thrown from, so you could be arrested and killed.
Yeah, like even with the crushing, when they put stones on you, you're going to die. You're going to either get crushed. Like, so these trials, they were meant to kill you.
They were a total farce, and they were actually, honestly, I also found out that they were the first government cover-up in the history of the United States. Now technically it wasn't the United States at the time, because it was still under British rule, 1692, so before the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Like 80 years before that.
Yeah. So it still wasn't, the country, but the government, the heads of the colonies, actually, after it happened, they tried to cover it up. There were orders that were sent out for any books, papers, pamphlets that had information on the witch hangings to be destroyed or burned, and anybody who would talk about it would, did so under penalty of death.
Their tongue cut out or something.
Yeah, you couldn't talk about it, and they tried to cover it up, but word of mouth prevailed. People still, it got out, and to this day we know about what happened. But it was technically the first official government cover-up in the history of this country. But no, man, when I think about the Salem witch trials, it's like it gives me chills, like, of everything that happened. And I had a thought. My closing statement on this will be that they were so scared that the devil had come to Salem in 1692, and maybe he did. What if he did and he influenced all of this to happen? If you believe in things like the devil and hell,
it was just people's fear of the unknown.
See, I was trying to be dramatic. Yes.
No, fear is a strong factor.
Though. It is. People do a lot of stupid shit when they're scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there was mass murders in the French Revolution, which is a result of fear. So
I agree entirely, but I was just trying to be dramatic. Maybe the devil did come to Salem in 1692.
Not even. Oh shit.
But anyway, so that's
again, it just depends on your religious beliefs too.
But
some would say yes, but I get where you're coming from this.
I really do like that movie a lot, and one of the things is when I was watching it, again, excuse me, I felt like, man, this is a short movie, because I actually watched it in one sitting, which is kind of rare for me, and it seemed like it started and was over so quick. I was like, man, this is a short movie. Then when I saw the time, it's an hour and 58 minutes, so nearly 2 hours long. Which is not an excessively long movie, but usually movies are about 90 minutes or an hour and a half. And this movie is about 2 hours long, and it felt so quick to me. But, I mean, the performances were fantastic. Winona Ryder, like I said, the actress is amazing. She really makes you hate her in that, which, again, a character that can do it, just like Denzel Washington in Training Day. Holy crap, is Denzel an amazing actor, and does he made me hate him in Training Day. If there's characters that can do that, then they've done their job. Daniel Day-Lewis, as always, puts on an amazing performance. He's an amazing actor. I love him in Gangs of New York. Not No Country for Old Men. There Will Be Blood. So fantastic actor. Very tragic tale, very heart wrenching. This movie will make you cry if you're one of the types of people that weep at films. I'm overshadowing everything. Val, since you've seen this movie, did you have any thoughts that you wanted to share about it? Anything in particular?
She's a whore.
She's a whore. Yes, she is. She's a straight up whore.
But no, all seriousness, it does shine some light of what, I don't want to say how stupid the past was, because we do learn a lot from the past, but like how fear is easy to take over, and how someone who's great at speaking, who's very persuasive, how they're able to
rally people.
To rally, yeah.
Like Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
the power of words is definitely nothing to take lightly. So, there's when you mentioned that the fear, and people kind of getting whipped into a frenzy. There's a simple line in a kind of a cheesy movie, but that has profound truth to it. It's from Men in Black. If you're the first Men in Black, when Tommy Lee Jones tells Will Smith says, hey, why don't you tell people? People are smart, they can handle it. Tommy Lee Jones says, no, a person is smart. People are dumb, gullible, vicious animals. Or I don't think that's the exact line, but
when it comes to a group of people,
people, yeah. Because there's that crowd mentality. It's like, you want to go with the flow. What are all people around me doing? I have that fear of missing out. I want to do what everybody around me is doing. So sheeple, yeah. We're not saying that in any specific context, but yes, the fact is that a group mentality, can give you the feeling of belonging, but it can also be dangerous. So, be sure to make up your own mind and be an individual when it comes to things.
Yes.
So that was our synopsis and review of the Crucible. Anything else you wanted to add to that, Val?
Oh, one last thing. If you're curious about another creepypasta that I like, try Mrs. Wilson's homemade jam.
Mrs. Wilson's homemade jam. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well, as you can see there on your screen.
And hit that bell icon.
Yeah, the little like, share, subscribe, the call to action thing came up, so yeah. Like, share, and subscribe.
Bye, y'all.
So we're calling it?
Yes.
Alright, well.
What a game.
What a game. Alright, well, I have been joined here by the God of War Thunder ringleader.
Aye.
The hostess with the mostest, Valkyrie Grinder.
That's me.
And I, of course, am the one, the only, stuffed up, congested, raspy voiced Espionage DB7. And as always, if you like what you see and you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell icon for notifications. Follow us on Twitch, on YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And most importantly, settle down. Have a great one, everybody.